My name is Varsha Kanwar, and I'm excited to be here speaking to you all on the topic of your network is your net worth. A little bit about me before we delve into the topic. I am a connector and provider who loves to connect the unconnected, be it ideas, processes, systems, or people. My currency, or what you might call the North Star, they're two-pronged, love and learning. And how I use that is I strongly believe in the power of teams and power of us. And I'm passionate about building empowered teams and fostering inclusive communities. So I'm really excited to be here. I know it's a bit of a awkward forum with this new thing we are trying. I don't have like an audience in front of me. I don't know where to look at, but hopefully you'll bear with me. The first time we tried it, I was all over the map. So I've got some sticky notes, and hopefully we can get it right this time. In my current role, I am working at Cisco, and I'm a chief of staff for a team called Customer Experience Engineering and Product Incubation Team. What as we do as a chief of staff team is I'm responsible for organizational effectiveness for about a team of 1,500 people across the globe. And my role includes taking care of the communications, people, talent, culture, and run the business operations, along with some strategy and planning. I've been at Cisco 13 years now, and I wake up every day as excited as I was on the day one of joining a new job. And seriously, frankly speaking, I owe it all, if not all, like everything of the joy that I feel, the passion that I feel, the achievements I've been able to make, the learning I've got. I owe it all to the tribe that I've been able to build at Cisco and across. The tribe of my mentors, sponsors, coaches, peers, and colleagues. For me, the African proverb that I don't know if you've heard, which says that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. So that resonates with me, and that's why network being your network is just a reality of living life, not just in career. Also, just a little bit background on me. My father was in the Indian Air Force, and so while growing up, we moved places every 2 years. And that kind of built in my DNA, to know people, to be proximate to where you are, learn about how they live, learn about how they think, even if they are different. That was just a natural way of life. And also, in a way, it was like survival of the fittest. So you had to do it. If you're going to a new place as a kid, especially in going into new cultures, learning about new ways of how people think, how people talk, even languages. In India, every state has a different language. So even language was different. And that got into my DNA. And over time, I realized that, the thing called networking, it's all about learning from each other. And it's about being proximate. And with having proximity comes that awareness. We learn more about the issues different people face, how one same idea can be looked at in a different ways. And it helps us, at least it's helped me, to overcome our assumptions and biases that we might have towards things that just because we don't know what we don't know. But once we know better, let's do better. So why? Let's talk about the why of network. For me, it also resonates what Brené Brown, if some of you are Brené Brown fans over there, you must have heard about her book, Dare to Lead. And she talks about how vulnerability is the key element to building trust and true connections. This thing that we talked about earlier, when people don't know you, there are more reasons of kind of having assumptions of just because I don't know you, I might assume things that are not so true. From a career perspective, let's talk about building a network and why it is important for your career. I don't know if you remember or if you've heard this, but many times I was told that you get your next role by who you know. And there were some others who would say, no, it's not about who you know, it's about what you know. Guess what? Nowadays, from my experience of 13 years at Cisco, and before that, I've been in nursing, I've been a nurse, I have been a teacher, I've been as a web designer, I've been a banker. in my almost 2 decades of the career, I've realized that it's not just about who you know, it's not about just what you know, but it's about getting that next opportunity through someone who knows what you know. And to do that, you have to balance that thing about networking as just a fact of going to an event, just giving away your business cards, or going and clicking on LinkedIn and just building a network by clicking connect. That's not what I mean by networking or building your network. It's about being present where you are. It's about being aware of your surroundings. It's about stepping out of your comfort zone and putting yourself out there, and also having that higher purpose. Do you want to help others? Do you want to learn more? What is your higher purpose to build your tribe, to build your network? You know, at the end of the day, whether it's in life, like what do you really want? Is it about your head, your heart, or your wallet? And there's no right or wrong question. It doesn't matter what you are after, whether it's success, your personal success, professional success, or giving back to the community. If you are not doing it with people around you, if you're not taking people on the journey, how far can you go alone? It's also, for me, building a network is not just about who I know or who you know. It's about who are we becoming as a person. It has helped me to be the best version of myself, and it's helping me till now. In fact, in the 13 years of Cisco, the 6 roles that I've had, it's because of this drive, whether it's the Women of Cisco ERO, which is an employee resource organization, or the colleagues, peers, managers, sponsors, who opened doors for me, which I didn't know they existed, right? They nudged me when I needed a bit of a nudge and I wasn't sure of myself. They encouraged me, they supported me, they were my cheer squad, but they also corrected me or had those tough conversations with me when I needed to have. That is the power of having a tribe, knowing that, you know, people have your back and you can go and talk to them, and that builds the confidence for yourself and be able to give back. I think about Carla Harris's talks. I don't know if you've heard Carla Harris talk about her pearls, Carla's pearls. She talks about this performance currency and social currency. And that's what the network is about. You know, yes, you have to deliver. Yes, you have to earn trust. And it takes time to build a network. I mean, frankly speaking, today, I wouldn't be here if not, just the fact that I'm here talking to you all is a testament to having a network with people who were able to provide this opportunity. Just a quick story, Huma and I connected about 2.5 years back. Huma is one of the co-founders of Pakistani Women in Computing. And we kind of followed each other on social. You know, our currency of connecting that time was learning, and also our higher purpose was to enable and empower women in tech with opportunities and resources, and to equip and enable them to succeed through our own learning. And we kind of kept in touch, and we were always supporting each other and, you know, helping each other, whether it's posting blogs or commenting or, you know, just talking about how we can learn from each other's experiences. And then at Grace Hopper last year, even though we both came in separate ways, Huma connected with me, and from there I was able to connect her to more people where there were more opportunities. We could, you know, empower and power more the Pakistani Women of Computing Forum through WebEx. And Huma then came to me and said, you know, we are launching this new series to reach to more people during these COVID times. Will you come and help us and join us? And I'm here today. So let's look at the what. Like, what is networking? Like I said, you know, many perceive networking as something like schmoozing, or you need to do that only if you are like getting a job or you want to do something different. And it's almost looked at as hunting. But networking is more about that. Networking is, I believe for myself, it's a choice on how we want to live our everyday and how we want to make the best of our personal and professional lives. Looking at it in terms of work and career, I mean, we spend majority of our time at work with our colleagues, right? So why wouldn't you be present? You could do that in your personal life, whether it's your knowing your children's your children's parents, their friends, or in schools, building a network there, or any faith that you follow, you have a tribe over there. We do that in our personal life. So why is it such a taboo for us to do that in our professional network? Also remember that networking is more like farming. It's about cultivating relationships. And yes, it takes time, it takes energy, it takes being purposeful. And also, the one thing we sometimes mistake is the currency of networking is not greed, it's generosity. It's about give, give, get. And sometimes it's about give, 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 get. And at times, the get that we're talking about is not for you. It might benefit somebody else in your own network or somebody else that you might not know, but it is getting benefits to somebody at some point in time because of the seeds that you sowed. So when we talk about network and building a network, I know Huma and Wazma asked me that, can you give us two scenarios, how to build a network? One was, we are all different. Some of us are extroverts, some of us are introverts, and they asked me to share some tips around how can introverts build a network? And the other question was, since given, I have moved quite a bit, I talked about my childhood, where I moved every 2 years, but even in my career, I worked in India, I worked in Australia, and now I'm working in the US. So they asked me, the other question was, what do you do when you move new roles or new locations? So I'll talk a bit about that. So yes, we have different preferences, whether we are extroverts or introverts, but I don't believe that it's about that we can't network. Introvert and extrovert is more about our preferences. We get more energy by being with a lot of people, or we get energy by connecting one-on-one, and just a preference of where and how we do that. So a few of the things that I can share is, the first thing is, don't network just to network. And remember, you don't have to do everything. Focus on your learning, know your higher purpose, be interested, and be interesting. The other thing I would say is, build it before you need it. Your quality of your network is more important than the quantity of your network. So, being mindful in being present, taking small steps at a time. For example, if you join a new job, during the interview process, ask them if they have a buddy system to onboard, or will they assign you a mentor, or what are they doing for shadowing opportunities. At Cisco, we have an amazing initiative called the Proximity Initiative. Happy to talk and share more about it if you need. And Alex Allen is leading that at Cisco, who's in our HR or People and Communities team. The other thing is, get a mentor, seek a coach, a sponsor. And there's a difference, of course, in mentor and coach and sponsor. Mentor is somebody that, you can reach out, you want to learn something from, you are inspired by how they do things, and they are the people in your lives who talk with you. A coach is somebody who talks to you, who challenges you to be the best version of yourself. It's more about your personal development. So mentor is about skill development. Coach is helping you with personal development. And then sponsor. Sponsors are really important. A sponsor is somebody who speaks about you, advocates for you in the rooms where decisions are being made and you're not present there. So they are important for career development. So keep in mind to kind of, when you build your network, to have that. Also, when you're tempted to say no to opportunities, I'm telling you, I was one of them. I was almost, when Huma came and said, do you want to speak to this? I'm like, you know what? I've got so many other people who do such a great job, and I could give her a rattle of names. Maybe Tony is good for it. Marcy is good for it. I can get you some other speakers. And Huma said, no, we need you. And I said, okay. So instead of telling myself I don't have time or how will I fit this in, I tell myself, this is not a priority for me. And it changes me in my thinking. When I tell myself I don't have time, instead of saying this is not a priority. And then you rethink and say, no, it is a priority. It's a priority because I want to give back. I want to help others, so I will make time. So remember that when you are tempted to say no, just use that priority and you will know whether you want to prioritize it or not. Another thing that worked for me was building a safe space. Working with EROs, employee resource organizations, or any other community that you are passionate about, whether it's initiatives at work or outside, building that small community, putting yourself out there, gaining confidence in speaking, in connecting within that safe space really helped me, because there were people who supported me, encouraged me, guided me, mentored me, and it helped me to build that confidence, network, but one step at a time. We do another thing at Cisco. It's called the 3 E's. It's called experience, exposure, education. That's something I really put into practice is, when we're all working, how much time do you have to take extra courses? But how do you keep your learning going, and how do you build that? So they say 70% of your time spend on experience-related activities, 20% on exposure, and 10% on education. And again, those, if you kind of divvy up your time like that, with the exposure bucket, especially the 20%, you will make time, whether it's a Monday or a Friday, carve out time to connect with people. And every time you meet a new person, ask them to connect you to one new person, because then they would know your interest and they can connect. And that's like a dynamo effect, and you expand your network. So those are some of the things that we have. Another one I should not forget is in our team, our leader, Tony Colon, he's our SVP, he started a thing called No Interruption Thursday, and that's really worked out well. I use my Thursdays now to reach out to people that I usually don't work on a day-to-day basis. So I have one-on-ones or a coffee chat or an evening virtual catch-up with few of them who we don't necessarily get to meet every day because our works don't have anything to do with day-to-day meeting, but then you carve out time and you spend that time to connect with them. Very quickly, I know we are almost at time. Very quickly on when you're moving to new countries and new teams, what do you do? First thing I tell myself is reset. Reset your mindset. Get over yourself. You're joining a new team, you're joining either it's a new manager or you get a new team, or especially if you move to a new place. Be curious and be open, be humble, and be open to learning. Also, as we usually, when we join new teams or new roles, we usually carve out a 30, 60, 90-day plan. I strongly recommend having a 3, 6, 9-week networking plan also. Ask your manager who's who in the zoo, the stakeholder mapping that we do for program management. Have your own stakeholder map. Who's in my core circle? Who's in my direct influence, indirect influence? Who do I need to know? Who needs to know me so that we can work more effectively? And as a newbie, when you're new to a place, new to a team, new to a leader, play that newbie card. You won't have long to play that. Be curious, listen actively, ask questions. And like I said earlier, every time you meet a person as part of your onboarding, ask them to introduce you to a new person, one more person. And that just helps you. So in a nutshell, before we wrap up, I think about change, and I can't but think about Elizabeth Moss Cantor. I just love her YouTube talk around 6 keys to leading positive change. And that, I think, is applicable anywhere. It's the 6 keys, in fact, to going through a change or showing up and building your tribe and your network. The first is to show up. We talked about that. You miss 100% of the chances you don't take. So yes, show up. The very fact that you are already here today, that just shows that you are committed to your career. You are owning your career. And no matter what happens, COVID or technology changes or, things that you can't control, you are showing up and you are owning your career and where it goes. So show up, speak up. If you've got a seat at the table, use your voice, not just for yourself, but for others too, to voice out and to represent your communities or the underrepresented people who might not have a voice for whatever reason. So speak up when you do have a seat at the table. Look up. When we show up and speak up, let's kind of look up and beyond also. Let's not keep blinkers and think that this is our world. For Cisco, for example, it's a huge company. If anybody joining a team, we are heads down and just doing our day-to-day work, there might be so many opportunities and great learnings you might miss because you are not putting yourself out there and stepping out of your just day job charter. So again, look out for opportunities to do stretch assignments, roles, engage in the employee resource organizations, and go beyond and have that higher purpose. When we are showing up, speaking up, looking up, let's team up, lift each other up. That is so important, right? Together we are stronger. You know, they say the best way to get a friend is to be a friend. Similarly, like, you know, when we might say, oh, I don't have a mentor, I don't have a sponsor, who are you mentoring? Who are you sponsoring? I mean, it's never too early or never too late to do that. I'm, I think, at time or maybe even more. So once again, believe me when I say the power of proximity is real. The strength of sisterhood is real. And yes, the joy and just the feeling of fulfillment you get by enabling and empowering others around you is real, definitely. So don't let a pandemic or any other factors, you know, inhibit you from discovering the possibilities that lie ahead of you, around you, and also continue to be that bridge of possibility for others. Thank you for taking time today to listen to me, and stay safe out there. And I look forward to connecting with you. I think there'll be some questions in the chat. Thank you again.